Well, hello there, Tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and today I will be talking about the brand new Season 6 event and reward tank that is currently available in Blitz as of this morning. I'm pretty sure this event just came out this morning. And so yeah, we're going to check everything out that has to do with this event, this tank, which is called the Destiny, and the stats, gameplay, everything you need to know about it. And yeah, let's get right on into it. So first off, this tank is available in the Season 6 New Horizons event. Now, I just did air quotations there because this isn't really like any other season that we've had in World of Tanks Blitz so far. Currently, or previously, the seasons, you had to obviously pay a crap ton of money to get parts to then unlock like your tier 7 tank, and then you would move up to the tier 8 and then the tier 9. In this season, there is only one tank, and it is the Destiny. So you can see here, you can unlock the Destiny for 1,000 gold, or by completing challenges. So far there's only 2 sets of challenges, but I'm sure Wargaming is going to incorporate more of these challenges once these ones have finished. But for now, you can earn up to 400 boxes by winning 15 battles and by winning 20 rating battles. So pretty easy right there. Basically just play the game in normal and ratings, and you can complete these challenges and basically get half the way to the tank already. And in the event, once you do get the tank, you can unlock, obviously, the rest of the gun rewards, but the tank stock seems to actually be pretty decent compared to when it's fully upgraded. So it's not like when you first get this tank, it's going to be completely useless, at least from what I've seen so far. Maybe I'm wrong, but in the event, you get a lot of other rewards. You get camos for like the CS63, you get random looking attachments, you get this camo right here, which looks... I don't know. It looks interesting. I don't really know what else to say. And then the final 2 rewards is, you get the fuse camo, and you get a background, which looks, it looks okay. I'm not going to say it's that great. So, and I will be buying the entire thing, just on my main account because I do want to have this tank on my main. So we're going to do that right now. 39,000 gold is what it's going to cost for you to get everything in this event. And yeah, you can see, again, a lot of rewards you get. And now I'm going to equip the tank, and then we'll get into the review section of this video. Alrighty, now that I have my tank fully equipped, we're going to get right on into the stats and obviously the armor profile of this tank before I get into some live gameplay. So let's go right on into the gun to start things off. The gun deals a lot of damage for its premium shells, at least, and that's because the premium shells are Hesh, which is actually really cool, especially on a tank, a tier 9 heavy like this. I think it's going to be a really interesting gun to mess around with. So you can see here your average damage is 410 on the standard, 460 on your premium high explosive, which is your Hesh, and then on your normal HE it's 530. So it actually still does make a difference when you load that standard HE, which is why I will be using some standard HE in case I get the rear of like a Leopard or something like that. In terms of your penetration, it's pretty average, I'd say, for a Hesh firing gun like this. Your standard pen's decent enough at 265, especially because it's AP. You're going to have a lot of pen to cut through people most of the time. And in terms of your HE pen on your Hesh, it's 184, which is, it seems like it'll be enough as well. So overall, I don't think you're going to have too many problems with the pen of this tank, and you basically just want to avoid fighting things hull down in it. In terms of your aim time and dispersion, your gun handling, it's pretty okay on its dispersion at least, but I am using Refined Gun to boost that quite a bit. Your aim time, though, kind of sucks. 4.6 seconds is quite long, so we're going to find out how troll the gun actually is in battle, but it looks like it's going to be 50-50. In terms of your gun depression, you have 6 degrees, which means it's not the best in the world, and especially considering this tank looks very tall, some maps you might struggle to play on hills or ridgelines. For your mobility, you go 42 forward and 10 in reverse. So at least the forward speed seems to be okay, even with a kind of mid-powered weight of 15. But your reverse speed looks awful. Like, that is horrible. 10 reverse is going to be a nightmare, especially when you are playing this tank more or less frontline and you're trying to back out of a situation. Good luck with that. You're going to basically just die from not having enough reverse speed, which is going to suck with this tank quite a bit. And before I do get into the armor profile, I want to run you quickly through the consumable loadout of this tank. Now, you actually have a decent amount of options when it comes to your consumables. You have reactive armor, you have tungsten shells, and obviously the normal set of everything else. So I'm going to test out game number 1. I will test out tungsten shells and adrenaline because this is what I think the combo that I'm going to be personally using will be. But in my second battle, I will be testing out a different consumable loadout, possibly with reactive armor and tungsten, or reactive armor and repair kit. I might just add another repair kit in, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm going to be testing out a bunch of different loadouts in this tank to see which one I prefer. But it's good to have all the options here. Especially on a heavy tank. It's pretty nice. All right, here we are, and this is the tank's armor profile in front of you. And you can see I am using a K91 to shoot at this thing, as I thought that would be a pretty solid test. We are also using calibrated shells on it, but you're going to see here, calibrated shells doesn't really make that much of a difference, to be honest. Look, I'm literally switching it on or off. It just doesn't matter. I don't know. But anyways, here's the tank's armor profile on flat ground against AP shells. And you can see here, it looks decent, but if you are a tank that's lower down to the ground than this thing, which is most, because this tank is quite tall, your lower plate is very large. Like, look at this, bro. It's freaking huge. And at this sort of angle, it's 152 millimeters, 155. Obviously, if you are in a taller vehicle, the lower plate is going to be stronger just because of the way it's angled. But the second you angle this tank, you have these side cutouts right here that are only 145 millimeters thick, which means if you are seeing an enemy destiny and you are in your own destiny, you can just hesh this tank anywhere in this section right here. And you can see the middle bar is only 70 millimeters thick, that's not good at all. Like, this thing's armor, it looks good on paper, as in you can see there's a lot of red. But in actuality, I don't think this armor profile is going to hold up that well on flat ground. And especially because this tank only has 6 degrees of gun depression, like, sure, you can get this thing kind of behind a ridgeline, but because of how tall it is, it's going to be hard to find rocks or cover that'll cover up that whole lower plate. Now, you can see here I'm loading heat shells, and if you do cover up that lower plate, then this thing's armor is really, really good. You can see the upper plate is unpennable, 500 millimeters, like, you're not going through that. Same with the turret, 563 millimeters, 464. The only weak spots on the turret you really have are these 194 millimeter spaces of armor right beside the gun, the turret cheeks, which I call them, and those are where you're going to be able to pen this thing in the turret while it is hiding the hull, because this thing doesn't really have any hatches. In fact, it doesn't have any hatches at all. It doesn't really have hatches. There are literally none. So yeah, this thing, when you are able to hide the hull, seems like the armor is going to be pretty good, but how many situations you're actually going to be able to do that in, I'm not totally sure yet. So I'm going to have to test and mess around with the armor profile in battles to really find out if it's actually good or not. But yeah, this tank is not going to be good at side scraping at all because you have these corner cutouts, and because the second you start angling, your track wheel is going to be weak enough to just pan it right through. So don't really side scrape in this tank. I don't recommend it. And the side armor is 90 millimeters, which is, it's whatever. It has a lot of spaced armor on it, so you're not really going to be getting penned with hesh in the side of this thing, really, unless you hit this part of the turret, and the rear is only 40 millimeters thick. So yeah, you're going to get HE'd a lot in the rear, I will say that. So that's the armor profile of the tank. Let's move back over to a World of Tanks Blitz right here, and we're going to get right on into some gameplay. Let me just test if my audio is good for the game first. It looks like it is. All right, let's get on into battle number 1, and we're going to show to you, or I'm going to show to you, how this thing sort of plays in game. So let's get on into it. And here we are, Rockfield. Oh boy, battle number 1. So yes, because the new season is out, it means that the maps rotation has happened, and a lot of the maps that you saw previously in the last season are going to be removed, and maps like Rockfield, I believe Alpenstadt, what's the other one? Molendijk, I think those maps are all going to be back in rotation, things like that. I don't know what other maps there are. I haven't really looked, but those are the 3 I'm pretty sure I know are going to be in the update. But anyways, not going to be talking about that. We're going to be taking a look at the Destiny in battle right here. Wow, my FPS is awful. What is my game doing? Why is my game running so terrible? I don't know. But anyways, we're not going to worry about that right now. It's at, whatever, 79. Anyways, yeah, we're in game number 1, and this tank, it looks pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. I really like the modern look to it. It's definitely a futuristic looking tank, and I don't actually mind it. I think they did a solid job of the looks department when it comes to this tank. But we're not here to talk about the looks. We're here to talk about the gameplay. So what can you expect from the gameplay of this vehicle here? You can expect it to be kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie, like, because it's pretty tall, you can see here, and the turret is so low down. 6 degrees of gun depression it's not really enough in a lot of situations. Like you can see here, I can't even get my gun down enough in this spot right here to shoot at a tank like that 50 TP Proto. That's a bit of a problem, and especially because you only have 10 reverse speed, this tank is going to be kind of team dependent in a lot of situations, because if you don't have teammates with you and you get YOLO'd, you are not going to be able to escape with 10 reverse speed. That is just not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, you can see here, I do have a lot of team support because our entire team is literally here. So I am going to be pushing up quite aggressive, and we're going to be using our Hesh Shell, and I'm going to be sucking ass at aiming my shots in. But you see, I can actually pen the lower plate of that 50 TP. So, I mean, when my aim isn't terrible, we're going to be able to do a lot of damage to players like that YOLOing Progetto. Now, I'm not really sure what their team is doing, to be honest. Like, why is this guy YOLOing me right now? I don't get it. But anyways, we're going to be dealing with this 50 TP Proto right here. And especially having Tungsten on this tank is quite nice, especially for those Hesh damage rolls. So, yeah, you can see here, Progetto is struggling to pen me here. And I'm hopefully going to be able to hit him not in the turret. Nice. Okay, well, the accuracy on this tank so far seems kind of average, and if not, like, on the worst side of things, which it makes sense. Like, I'm not very surprised by that. I do think it could have been a little bit better in terms of the accuracy, but I mean, you're going to be fighting this thing against other heavies more or less close quarters. So you can see when you do that, I feel like in a face hug, this thing is going to be quite effective. But anyways, there goes the 50 TP. All that is left is the IS-6 and the other Destiny on the enemy team, who are going to be getting YOLO'd by my whole team very soon. So I'm not expecting this game to last much longer. But, I mean, you can see here, the mobility, it's nice. It has a good top speed, but you can see that power to weight is a little bit on the slower side of things. It's going to be quite sluggish getting up to that top speed here. But you can see there, we were able to snap that Destiny in the side area where I said that corner cutout was for a lot of damage. So yeah, this thing on its Hesh shells is going to be quite effective when it comes to dealing tons of damage, especially with Tungsten, like I said. So there we go. IS-6 gets taken out, and that is the end of game at number 1. So we're going to see how we did. I don't think we did the craziest amount of damage because I was sort of dealing with 2 tanks YOLOing me the whole game, and my team just completely swept their enemy team. So not expecting to do crazy things in this thing, but even with that, we were still able to get out 3,000 damage. Definitely could have done a lot more if it was not a steamroll, but solid result nonetheless, I guess. So let's get on into battle number 2. And like I said, I'm going to be switching up the consumable loadout with this thing. So we're going to take off Tungsten. We're going to add another repair kit in case I do get tracked or like set on fire. I don't know, something breaks. And then I will be putting Tungsten. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to use... yeah, we're going to use Tungsten shells. I'm just going to take off Adrenaline because I don't know if you actually really need Adrenaline on a tank like this. Like, it's a heavy tank after all. You're not exactly going to be DPM brawling a medium tank or something. So, I don't know. We're going to find out. But anyways, let's get into battle number 2 with this new loadout. And we're on Ghost Factory for game number 2. Now, I do recommend you guys just use Tungsten on this thing. Like, you need to keep Tungsten on it. No matter what your loadout is, I think Tungsten is going to be the way to go, especially with that Hesh damage being boosted a lot with your Tungsten shells. I think it's going to be really deadly. And if you were to, like, only use Reactive Armor and Adrenaline, like, I don't really see the point of doing that. If you want to use Reactive Armor and Tungsten, sure, but I don't think you should be using, like, not Tungsten. I don't think you should be avoiding it, is what I'm trying to say, because Tungsten is probably going to be your strongest consumable on this tank. Especially for the alpha damage you have. But we're going to get on into battle number 2 here. Wait, we have 3 Destinies on our team, bro? What in the world? And there's 2 on the enemy team? Okay, well, it looks like a lot of people have already gotten their hands on this tank. But I'm going to be making my way towards heavy side, which may surprise some of you. But honestly, in a battle like this, where half my team is just still AFK, like my teammate just said, I don't really feel safe to just go medium side and get YOLO'd by something. So I don't know. I also did notice that one of their enemy teams teammates were capping base B there, so it looks to me like their team is going to be over this way anyways. So going A side to me seemed kind of pointless here, but you can see fighting the enemy Destiny, I am going to aim in on his side armor there, and that's the main problem with this thing, is anytime you angle this sort of tank, you're going to get penned right in the side, especially by another Destiny that has good AP pen. We're going to use our Tungsten here, and unfortunately, I can't actually pen that 112 Glacial's lower plate. That thing does have a really strong lower plate, though, so kind of not that shocking to me at all. But yeah, we're going to be, honestly, just sitting hull down right here. And I don't think there's a whole lot this guy can actually do to me, even with his premium shells. But that accuracy is going to be very troll on this thing. I'm just going to say that right now. Like, you can see, that was a pretty easy shot to hit, even if I wasn't fully aimed in. But we're going to fully aim in another shot here. Again, you can't really... Actually, you know what? We can hit him in the hatch with our Hesh shells. That's good. That's what I like to see. Anyways, we're going to keep shooting this guy right here. And let's load another... I'll just keep loading AP, honestly. Let's see if I can actually hit that. You can see that aim time, though. That is atrocious. I'm not going to lie, bro. I was still aiming in at the end of that shot there. That is kind of wild. So yeah, I mean, technically, fully aiming in this tank is going to be the way to go. But because the aim time is so bad, I don't know if that's actually going to be a possibility half the time in this thing. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to fully aim in. But anyways, the 704 and the enemy Yag Tiger in front of us. I'm just going to shoot an AP shell at his side. It looks like I wasn't able to pen his lower plate at that angle, but that's all right. We still finished him off right there. And we're at 2,500 damage, so I mean, we're doing okay. Let's see if this object... I mean, he's probably going to shoot me. I don't really care, though, to be honest. He did actually roll quite high, though, but oh well. I'm going to actually turn around here. Actually, no. I'm not going to turn around. I'm going to go for this enemy Destiny right here. We're going to finish him off before he can get another shell into me. And, yeah, this is looking like a win, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Because, I mean, the enemy team is just trash because this is my first couple of games in the tank. So the enemy players are not going to be very good. But even with that, this is still going to be a very close game. And you can see the lack of gun depression really hurts a tank like this. Like, oh my gosh, that is so annoying not being able to pen the IS-2SH like that. But anyways, I'm going to finish off this guy right here because our 704 is really struggling with that player. So there you go. You can see here, I'm going to back up so then it's hard for this guy to pen my lower plate. And you can see he got absolutely wrecked by our 704 right there. So I'm going to finish this player off right here. And all that's left is the enemy 704. Chances are he is not going to last too much longer. So I am going to just YOLO him. And we're going to see if I can get to his side or something. And maybe load a Hesh shell. Ooh, 507. Nice stuff right there. So yeah, the Hesh does feel really nice when you're able to pen your shots. But just the fact that this gun has such a long aim time, yeah, its accuracy is going to be kind of iffy. But we did manage to win the game. I got 5 kills. Our 704 was able to help me out a lot as well at the end there, so that was quite good. And I think we did a lot of damage, but we're going to find out here in a second. And there we go, 4,200 damage, 5 kills. That was, in fact, an ace. So, yeah, I mean, you can see, like, you don't really need adrenaline in this tank. Half the time you're fighting other heavies, you're not going to be just DPM brawling them. So it doesn't really matter. So honestly, I think this might be a very good loadout right here. Repair kit, tungsten shells, and your multi-use repair kit for repairing your commanders or whatever. I am going to do a meme loadout, though. We're just going to use reactive armor and tungsten for the final battle, just to see what's going to happen. And here we are, battle number 3. We are on Desert Sands. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play enough battles to get a tier 10 game. I did play a couple of battles before I started recording to hopefully get a tier 10 battle. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so oh well. Anyways, Desert Sands for our third and final battle of the video. And I am, of course, going to see how this goofy loadout of reactive and tungsten works. I am going to be going, well, heavy side. I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to go medium side or not. But since we only have like one LT... there's literally no point. You can see there's a lot of Destinies like out right now. We have 2 on our team, 1 on the enemy team, and as you saw last battle, I mean 3 on my team. Like, bro, what is this? But yeah, a lot of people are going to be able to get this tank, which is actually pretty good. Like, for 1,000 gold, this tank is really solid. Even if you're not able to fully max it out, I think it's still going to be pretty good. But anyways, we're going to cap base C right here, and we're going to see what pops up in front of me. And there is the enemy Centurion. So we're going to get a nice shell right into him right there. And, yeah, I'm just going to basically keep holding this angle, and we'll see what else shows up over here. But I do have to be careful in a situation like this, because if I do get YOLO'd by their whole team, 10 reverse speed is going to cook me. I will not be able to back out. And, oh boy, there is the 704. I do not want to get shot at by that. And in fact, I'm going to completely ignore this side of the map, I think. Because, yeah, I don't want to deal with a 704, and their Tiger 2 is literally in mid by himself. So, there is literally no point in me. Okay, Yo, LT, can't you drive anywhere else but my tank, bro? Like, don't drive into me, dude. What are you doing? Anyways, interesting gameplay from my teammates right here. But yeah, we're going to go for the Tiger 2 here. Oh, I could have heshed him. That's annoying. But, oh well. I'm actually going to go for the Destiny on the enemy team right there as well. We're going to kind of ignore the heavy side of this map. And I'm going to pop my Tungsten and Adrenaline, or not Tungsten and Adrenaline, Tungsten and Reactive Armor. We're going to go for the corner cutout there on the lower plate. You can see that is where you want to pen the front of the Destiny if you are shooting at it with Hesh. And yeah, we're going to see here. Maybe I can actually get the pen onto his engine deck. Actually, I don't trust that at all. 513, though, with my standard shell is perfectly fine with me. And I think my teammate should be able to finish him off there. Very nice stuff. And now we're going to go for the T28. Maybe I can get lucky and hit a nice pixel shot there. Oh, yo, 648. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Setting him on fire was very epic stuff right there. And this guy is absolutely terrible at the video game, so I'm just going to roll off to his side and finish him off. Didn't really matter if I loaded my Hesh there, but yeah, now we have the 704 in front of us. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. Luckily, I was able to bait him with my side scraping right there. And now I'm going to go for a standard shot. Wait, I can just... Oh, I thought I could Hesh him there. Unfortunate. Looks like it's kind of a 50-50 pen on the 704, unless that camo is just screwing up the armor highlighting. No, it's actually not a pen at all. Okay, well, we're just going to shoot standard AP at him there. So yeah, I mean, your pen against tier 10s is not going to be very good. I'm not going to lie. Like, tier 10s, you're really going to struggle to pen a lot of tanks that have better armor profiles. But against tier 8s and tier 9s, you can see it's okay. It's decent enough. But there we go. 3,200 damage for game number 3 with our really goofy loadout. I mean, it was such a steamroll. But in all honesty, I don't think using reactive is going to make that much of a difference in your overall gameplay or how you were able to do. So there you go. 3,400 damage because I did get the fire. Not bad, I guess, but there you go. That is the Destiny. A pretty interesting tank, and it's honestly kind of fun to play because it has Hesh. I find any tanks that have weird ammo combinations are going to be more fun to play than others. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting tank. I'm definitely going to keep playing it and keep messing around with it, and obviously the different consumable loadouts. But yeah, there you go. And for a lot of you guys, it's going to be pretty easy to get. You can see here, I've already fought 6 battles because I did a couple before I started recording. But there you go. Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy to get this thing, I think, especially with these challenges that you're able to do. So with that out of the way, for any of you who have not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support content like this and stay up to date when I post videos every now and then on new tanks and information that comes into Blitz. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.